sleep. And we, as you see here, we've had groups of people just pour in to be involved with it. In putting together this thing, I don't want to say I tricked you, but this isn't just a regional forum on homelessness. I'm showing you all the people who inspired me in this past year, and inspired our group in this past year, and who we learned from. And primarily have a really cool party with all my friends. So let's put our hands together for all the panel guests. Thank you. Okay, today we're going to hear the word dream used a lot. And the word dream is going to be used in two main contexts. One, the idea that, if you really set your mind to something, you set goals, you think big, that you can make things happen that seem unrealistic. Because definitely, as you see on the back of my shirt, and you see at this table, we have a lot of dreamers here. I would imagine we have a lot of dreamers in the audience as well. Dream that what you're going to see today is just the simple literal term, having a place where you can go, you can lay down, you can sleep, and you get into a state of sleep that you can just let go and dream. And you really get some rest and really let your body and your mind relax, which surprisingly enough, we have over 7,000 people in this city alone that don't have that luxury, to really get into a place of sleep where they can dream. So we're gonna start the show today. Again, for one, let's real quick give yourselves a round of applause for showing up here today. Okay, the first guy we're gonna have here today. When I first heard about him, it was actually from one of the other organizers at Safe Park. His name's Kinley, and he came for a long time. He brought burritos every day. He watched over people all night so they could sleep. Stayed up all night almost every single day for probably about 6 months. And he kept telling me, hey, you need to get a hold of these people in Portland. There's a group named Right to Dream 2 that has been doing exactly what we want to do. And he told me it over and over and over again. And eventually, I went to the Right to Dream 2 Facebook page, as we all know. Most of the stuff's done through Facebook. And I looked at what they were doing, and they have a tent city up there that sleeps 26, what they call dreamers as well, members that facilitate the place. And they provide overflow sleep for over 80 people. And the special thing about this isn't one of the institutions. This is just a group of homeless activists that band together, pulled together a coalition, and made it possible to provide sleep and services for a big group of people. So when I saw this, I called the number that was on there, and then probably 2 rings, the guy that picks it up, he goes, hello, this is Ibrahim. And I'm like, yeah, Ibrahim, I'm doing a 24-hour sleep site in Tucson on the sidewalk. The first thing he asked me was, well, have you guys looked into some private land? Maybe do a campground on some private land? And I was like, well, Ibrahim, the name of our group is Occupy Public Land. So we're really trying to focus in on doing it on public land, so that way no one's excluded. He's like, well, you need to look into private land at all, also. So 3 or 4 months went by, we really didn't talk that much. And then I reconnected with him and I told him, hey, I need to get out there to Portland and I need to see what you guys are doing. And with the help of Costa Maria of Central City Assembly, I Have a Name Project, Right to Survive, several other groups, they put together a trip for me to go to Portland and do a research study and examine exactly what they were doing. I lived there for 3 weeks at the camp. I got there, they gave me a tent, they treated me like a member, I came and went, and it was amazing. I really got to learn. With that being said, I want to introduce Ibrahim Mubarak with the Right to Dream and Right to Survive to the podium so he can tell you what he's talking about.
Okay, I'm gonna do a chant that we do to fire up people when they're tired. So you all can follow after me if you desire. If you don't, that's okay, I'm gonna do it anyway. Up with the people, yeah, yeah. Down with capitalism, boom, boom. Up with the people, yeah, yeah. Down with capitalism, boom, boom. Up with the people, yeah, yeah. Down with capitalism, boom, boom. Up with the people.
Yeah.
Down with capitalism.
Boom, boom.
Okay. I think we all there. Ready to go. My name is Ibrahim Mubarak, and I travel around this country and this world for 35 years, going to different states and cities and countries where I didn't know nobody, experienced the houseless condition, seeing why people wasn't getting productive anymore. And the first thing that I come up with is sleep deprivation. Can you go to a social service agent or agency and ask them to give you the further movement of somebody that's coming down off of drugs, somebody that's mentally challenged or sleep deprived? And in those things, they can't be productive because they're looking for one thing: rest. That's a human need. Human need that no government, nobody can control. Because no matter how much drugs you take, no matter how much you try to stay up, sooner or later, you're going to fall asleep. And where you fall asleep is the reason why I'm here. To present to y'all that because you're exercising your human rights, you should not be criminalized. Because you don't go for the American dream, you should not be criminalized.
Amen.
The American dream is you go to college, get married, graduate, have 2.5 children, buy a house with a white picket fence and a dog that go wild wild. That's so elusive. Because you can show me a 0.5 child, we can be rich. I'm gonna tell you, you can't reach that goal. And people who do reach that goal shouldn't think they're better than people that don't reach that goal.
Yeah.
Just because you live in vinyl walls or tent, just because you live in your car, camper, just because you live in a trailer or living in the great outdoors, don't mean that you don't have no rights.
Yep.
And you're taking a division and forgetting humanity and creating a have against a have-not. I have a house, you have a tent, I'm better than you. So what I did, come up and grab a group of people and come up and say, we're gonna have a campsite where all houseless people educate themselves, are accountability to each other, and govern and police themselves. And then we found out it's a camping ban. You cannot camp. When I was little, we went camping. We went on a trip, we going camping, but it's the difference when people who don't have want to do something. So we found out the camping ban and said, okay, we can't call it Camp Dignity. So it's a village, it's Dignity Village. And it worked. So we gathered people, houseless people. We would have a shopping cart parade where we would march in the streets, stop traffic, have veterans who had their legs blown off in wheelchairs, wheel in front of cars that wouldn't and stop them. And then here we come in our shopping cart parade, protesting, doing a direct action. We are human too. Just because we don't have housing, don't mean treat us bad. The problem is the problem, not people, not humans. That's not the problem. It's the way we look at things, the way we have a concept, the way we must have things. So we need to stop criminalizing people and helping them come together as a country, as citizens, as humans, to help people get back into the mainstream of society, or we live beneath our privilege as humans, as citizens, as government elected, as government officials, as police officers. Because we're not doing the humanitarian thing. We're not doing the spiritual thing. We have different spiritualities in here, and each one of our spiritualities said, help our fellow brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we're not doing that because we become into a selfish, individual nature. I got mine, get yours. If you can't get yours, you're not a part of me, so I'm gonna separate myself. So that's how Dignity Village work. That's the concept of helping people, stop them from being criminalized. It's creating an empowerment, eco-village, where people are accountable to each other and figure out how to help each other and refer them to different places where they can get help. And with that, when Dignity Village first started, we had 250 people. Now it's knocked down to 60 people. That's a place where they stay. So I left Dignity Village and went back into the street and said, whoa, look at all these houseless people. You know, as I said, houseless, not homeless. hardest word at home at. You calling me homeless, you calling me heartless. So I'm just without a house. I'm just like you. And I said, wow, we having families out in the street, we have runaways in the street, we have people traveling in the street, we have the gay community in the street. They're humans. But why are they being criminalized? What's happening? Foreclosure came, the banks got greedy, they started kicking people out their houses, had people run away because their parents not paying attention to them. They working so they can get this property, they working so they can do this, but they're not raising their children. So they run away to be with contact with other humans. And so we said, well, what's happening? Why they don't have no couple or married shelters? Why they don't have no single women's shelters? Why don't have family shelters? Why don't have places where children can go? So we created Right to Dream 2, where everybody can go get sleep, and that take people off the sidewalk. They put a dent into homeless people literally on the sidewalk with nowhere to go, where they can be safe. It's not the solution. Nobody have a monopoly on the solution, but it's an in the meantime direct action to let the people know, look at what we're doing, we can come together and help one another out. It was 3 years last week we put Right to Dream 2 down as a direct action. People said it wouldn't last 30 days. But it lasted because Occupy came. When Occupy was doing all that protests and we snuck under the radar, and when Occupy was over, they said, what's this? That's like when you're eating Cracker Jack and you stick your hand in it's a surprise. You know, but Gomer Powell used to say, surprise, surprise, surprise. Well, they were surprised. And in those 3 years that we helped the homeless help themselves, we educated them of their constitutional, civil, and human rights. We taught them to speak up in front of City Hall. We taught them the laws, and they became smarter than the police. That's something that the police don't know their rights, and the houseless people do. We taught them how to write grants. We sued the city and won $859,000 to buy our own land. Who would think houseless people could come together and do that? Because they are underestimated. We were something before we became houseless. You recycle bottles, recycle cans, recycle paper. Won't you recycle the mind and knowledge and humans back into the mainstream of society? In our 3 years, 190 people found housing, 145 found work. 12 women was able to keep their babies because we don't send them to hospital, which is obligated called DHS, and they have to take their babies and then prove they're good parents to get their babies back. So we send them to midwives. 10 people had quit extensive heroin habits because they had a place where they could rest and get out the environment and become productive and successful. When you see your brother getting off his feet, I'm gonna want that too. So it happened. 10 people are doing online education. Some is getting a GED and some is getting a college education. People find work and come back and give. The rest area in the Dayton Village campsite is ran by houseless people. No civil service agency. We don't get money. We write grants. That's the only money we get. We get farm. We do fundraisers. We sell buttons. We make T-shirts. We also do micro business. That's the result. That's the experience when you can make something where people get rest. When you don't sleep, you can't think. And I challenge people that live in houses to not go to sleep for 3 days straight, and then come out in society and see how you would act. Put some dirty clothes on and see how people would treat you. See how your friends would treat you. Yeah. I think my time is almost up, so I'm gonna tell you one last thing that we did, a campaign. We went into a store, and all our supporters dressed up in raggedy clothes, urine drenched clothes, and they put us in nice clothes. And we went into the store, and guess who got followed in that store? We did. And so we stole. We had radios, we had TV, we had candy, we had bubble gum, and then we met outside. We all went in together, went to the security guard and said, "You followed the wrong people. Thank you, I'm Ibrahim Mubarak."